Big news. Donald Trump just named his chief of staff. And you may have heard of her. You may not have heard of her. But actually, she's been a part of Trump's campaign for a very long time. She was co-campaign manager with Chris LaCivita. Susie Wiles officially has been named as Donald Trump's chief of staff for his 2024 administration.
Donald Trump has just announced moments ago that he is going to name Susie Wiles, his campaign co-chair, to be the chief of staff of his presidency once he gets to office starting in January. And I do want to read you the statement here. He says, Susie Wiles just helped me achieve one of the greatest political victories in American history and was an integral part of both my 2016 and 2020 successful campaigns. Susie is tough, smart, innovative, and is universally admired and respected. Susie will continue to work tirelessly to make America great again. It is a well-deserved honor to have Susie as the first ever female chief of staff in United States history. I have no doubt that she will make our country proud. As we talked about earlier today, Susie had been the top contender going into this. She is someone who makes Donald Trump feel comfortable. She is also someone who has really lasted the longest in Donald Trump's orbit, a place that is known for knife fighting and backstabbing. She has been loyal to the former president, a constant by his side since he left office in 2021. One thing I will say, Jake, she had some stipulations that he clearly agreed to, telling one source that she didn't want the clown car to be able to have access to the White House at any time, meaning those people who they don't want near Donald Trump. She clearly won that argument. She will be the first female chief of staff in United States history.
That's huge news. I am interested in learning, and maybe you can make a list of the people who would qualify as the clowns, because I'm sure everybody has their different take on who might constitute members of the clown car. But that is interesting news, and she certainly ran Donald Trump's most professional campaign. Kristen Holmes with the breaking news. Thanks. Scott Jennings still with us. Scott, your reaction?
Oh, great pick. I think what was said in the statement is absolutely true. She's universally respected in the party. The organization of the campaign and the fact that he stuck with the leadership team all the way through, I think, is a testament to just what a great job that she did. Being the first female chief of staff in the White House, I think, is a huge marker for both President Trump and the Republican Party. So I think if she can bring the kind of discipline and organization to the White House that she just ran this campaign with, Donald Trump's got a really good chance to get off to a great start and begin achieving objectives right out of the way. So you're going to get a lot of attaboys from across the Republican spectrum for picking Susie Wiles tonight.
All right, Scott Jennings, thanks so much.
So she doesn't want Donald Trump to bring the clown car, or let the clown car have access to the White House. You know, I have the same question as Jake Tapper. Who does she consider to be the clown car? Is it going to be people like John McKinney? Is it going to be people like, I guess, Mike Lindell? Some of those Trump loyalists? Is that who she considers to be the clown car? Because Susie Wiles is like a log cabin Republican. You know, she is a political consultant. She was a lobbyist. In fact, let's take a look at some of the history, just kind of on a high level, of who Susie Wiles is. She's been a power player with Donald Trump for a long time, Trump advisor. So let's take a look at this. This is a while ago, so some of this is going to sound kind of like old news because in the context of when this was written, it's a little bit different. I tried to find a more recent article that goes into her past and kind of her history with Donald Trump, but this is the best one I could find. But Susie Wiles, the most powerful Republican you don't know. Who is Susie Wiles? Susan Summerall Wiles, who is 66, is a political operative. Well, she might be 67 now. Political operative and top Trump advisor. Raised in New Jersey, Wiles is the daughter of the late NFL player and sportscaster Pat Summerall and has a bachelor's degree in English from the University of Maryland. Wiles moved to Jacksonville with her husband and political operative Lanny Wiles, but they divorced in 2017, and she has two daughters, Katie, Caroline, and she lives in Ponte Verde Beach. Wiles' long career in Republican campaigns and for elected officials had led her to become a top power player in Florida politics. In 1979, Wiles' first job was a receptionist in the office of U.S. Representative Jack Kemp, Republican of New York, a former teammate of her father's on the New York Giants. She joined Ronald Reagan's presidential campaign the next year as deputy director of scheduling before moving into the same position in Reagan's administration. Over the next few years, she worked with the Secretary of Labor, Raymond J. Donovan, served as deputy director of operations for Dan Quayle's vice presidential campaign, and worked as district director for U.S. Representative Tilly Fowler from Florida, Republican, before joining the staff of Jacksonville Mayor John Delaney, where she worked from 1995 to 1999. She returned to the mayor's office in 2004, working as chief of communications for Mayor John Payton for 4 years. In 2010, she helped a former healthcare executive named Rick Scott become governor of Florida. Rick Scott, governor of Florida, decent guy. I like Rick Scott. Okay, here is Susie Wiles, the woman herself, chief of staff, first woman chief of staff. Wow. Donald Trump just smashing these glass ceilings is amazing. Wiles worked briefly as campaign manager for Utah Governor John Huntsman presidential campaign, but later resigned. Politico reported it was due to a bitter feud with John Weaver, the candidate's chief strategist. Between positions, Wiles worked in various powerful lobbying firms. See, this is where I get red flags right here. Lobbyists are like the worst, the absolute worst people. I knew a couple lobbyists when I was in a university in Texas, at the University of Texas. And actually, when I say I knew a couple ex-lobbyists, and I actually know another one. I believe Veteran Biker is an ex-lobbyist, and he can describe to you exactly what happens in that industry and kind of the strings that are attached to that industry when you kind of make your way around the political arena and jump from candidate to candidate. This is what gives me a red flag. This is one of the reasons why Susan Wiles is considered a log cabin Republican, like deeply entrenched in some of the Republican politics, which is a no-no for me. When I see this, when I see someone like this, I'm just a little bit standoffish. I'm not saying that I don't like Susan Wiles or I think she is corrupt. She's not like one of my people, I guess you can say. I don't see Susan Wiles as like an America firster, but I guess she can prove us wrong. I don't know. What is she talking about the clown car for? What's the clown car? Who is she talking about? Is she talking about Trump loyalists? Project 2025 people? John McKenty types? Is that what she's talking about? I certainly hope not. But some of the lobbying firms she worked for include APCO Worldwide, then her own firm, Wiles Consulting Incorporated and Ballard Brothers, Florida's largest government affairs agency, where she ran the Jacksonville office with former Jacksonville Jaguars player Tony Baselli. While most of the Jacksonville Republicans threw their weight behind presidential candidate Jeb Bush in 2015, Wiles became co-chair of Donald Trump's Florida campaign. She helped Trump win the state by 1.2 percentage points over Hillary Clinton in 2016. So, this is one thing that gives me pause about Wiles as far as thinking that I'm not a big fan of her. She has been on the Trump campaign for a long time, all the way dating back to 2016. So I guess she can, in a roundabout way, be considered somewhat of a Trump loyalist too. Wiles worked on DeSantis' first campaign for governor in 2018, but they had a falling out. She remained close to Trump. In 2021, Wiles became CEO of Trump's Political Action Committee, Save America Leadership PAC. Trump eventually tapped Wiles to lead his 2024 presidential campaign, as well as Chris LaSavita. They were co-campaign chairs. Chris LaSavita is another political consultant. I'm not sure if he's a lobbyist, but he is a political consultant, one of these political operative types. Andrew Gillum. So this question here is, did Ron DeSantis fire Susie Wiles? So there's some scandals related to Susie Wiles. Andrew Gillum was leading the polls when Ron DeSantis brought Wiles in to lead his campaign as campaign chairwoman. In his victory speech night, DeSantis called her really the best in the business. She joined his transition team in 2019, according to Politico and the New York Times. Some DeSantis loyalists feared the state GOP was stocked with Susie people. And rumors were circulating that Wiles was there as a lobbyist to gain influence within the administration. This is exactly why I am a little bit skeptical, a little bit apprehensive of this Wiles chick, okay? After the Tampa Bay Times published an internal memo, her name on it, detailing an aggressive fundraising scheme, DeSantis blamed her for the leak and fired her. Wiles has denied leaking any documents. Maybe this is why she went to Trump, because DeSantis might have kind of distanced himself away from Wiles making her say, like, listen, DeSantis is not going to stick by me. He's just going to fire me for something like this. I'm going to Trump. So maybe there's a rift between Wiles and DeSantis. I don't know. But let's continue. DeSantis also got Wiles released from Trump's reelection campaign in 2019, according to Politico. But Wiles claimed it was due to a nagging health issue. Trump reinstated her in 2020 with a tweet from Team Trump saying it was tremendous to welcome her back to the team. And this is the tweet right there, July 2nd, 2020. In March 2021, Wiles made the CEO of Trump's Political Action Committee, was made the CEO of the Super PAC. Then this article talks about Caroline, her daughter, being fired from the White House. Caroline Wiles was hired in 2017 to serve in Trump's administration as deputy assistant and director of scheduling. Although the Washington Post noted she had an unusual background for a senior White House official and remarked on her only educational qualification, an unfinished degree from Flagler College in St. Augustine. However, she resigned a month later after failing an FBI background check along with 5 other new aides. Not sure what that's about. So that is Susie Wiles, officially Donald Trump's chief of staff. Like I said, I'm a little bit apprehensive. I just wanted to give you guys kind of a brief history on this woman, because I think all of us, everyone who is America first, everyone who is hardcore behind Donald Trump, wants to see him surround himself with people that are going to enact an America first agenda. Because what happened in 2016? Well, he went into office and he really didn't know what he was doing. You know, when a president goes into office, you have upwards of 10,000 jobs that you have to staff your administration with. And most presidents rely on, just these DC swamp bureaucrats to staff these positions. And Donald Trump, and usually it works for these other presidents, right? Because most presidents are there to just kind of continue the cycle, continue the machine. Donald Trump, however, had a very different message than most presidential candidates. So when he came in, he had some people, but not nearly enough to staff all these lower level positions. He had his cabinet, and he had to rely on some bureaucrats, unfortunately, to staff some of these lower level positions, which inevitably caused a lot of problems with his 2016 administration, causing some of these people to just outright insubordinate what Trump was ordering. I mean, the whole situation in Syria, he ordered, troops to be taken out of Syria, and they just said no. So I think that's what a lot of people are worried about when they see some of these people that are surrounding Trump's administration. We don't want to see another repeat of the 4 years after 2016. Trump was able to get some stuff done, but his administration, or what Trump wanted to do, was significantly hindered by a lot of the people that were surrounding him, such as people like Mike Pompeo, who is currently being floated to be the Secretary of Defense. And I just want to say a resounding please no. Trump, please do not bring Mike Pompeo anywhere near your administration. How about no Tom Cotton, no Mike Pompeo, no Mike Pence, none of those types, no Paul Ryan. Now, I'm not grouping Susie Wiles in that circle. I'm just saying there are some red flags, and I wanted to give you guys kind of an idea of who this woman was, because I myself have kind of looked into Chris LaSavita and Susie Wiles. Chris LaSavita is a former Never Trumper. He was against Donald Trump when Trump made his claims about the 2020 election. He made some tweets that were very combative against Donald Trump, and now he's his closest advisor, running his campaign co-chair. So what do you guys think of all this? What do you guys think of Susie Wiles? Do you think she's going to be a good one? Do you have red flags in your mind like I do? I hope she proves me wrong, all of us wrong. And when I say prove me wrong, I guess, I really don't know yet. I hope she proves the red flags I have in my head wrong. Maybe she will. But let me know down below what you think of all this. Like and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. But until then, I will see you on the next one.